It's about that time. Season 1 is right around the corner. And it is time to rank every single spec for Season 1 PvP. I'm trying to make this a general PvP tier list. So, of course, something might work better in 3s than it does in 2s, and better in 2s than BG Blitz, and better in BG Blitz than Shuffle, and better in Shuffle than whatever, right? In duels. I'm trying to make this like more of a general tier list. So keep that in mind. It's like overall impression of the spec in the War Within. Let's jump into it. Mage is the first spec we're ranking. Frost Mage. It did get nerfed a bit. I think it went from S+ to S. So it's still going in the S. They're still one of the best specs in the game by far. I think for comps, like Esther Feral Druid, I'm going to look to play FMP with the Frost Mage. Probably going to be cranking hard. They did nerf Ice Lance, but we're going back to, you know, Glacial and stuff now, and they are pumping hard. So, it's going there. Arcane is really, really good. It's more of a niche spec. Way more niche spec. In the right hands, it's insane. Of course, that goes for every spec, but Arcane's more than most. Overall, though, I'll put an A tier. Maybe a bit higher in the A tier. But Arcane is amazing. So, it's going right there. Now, Fire Mage is rough right now. I think they have decent burst, but beyond that, they kind of flop. And I always ask myself, which spec is going to be after? Because this is a rule in my tier list. It always has to be one after spec. And that after spec is the worst spec in the game, basically, for PvP. Usually, or last one, it was Enhance. Enhance got buffed quite a bit now. And actually, from my experience, facing Enhance, I actually faced one today. They're not the worst spec anymore. They're not. So, if something has to be in F tier, I think Fire Mage maybe has to fill that slot right now. So, for the time being, we're going to put it in the F tier. Let's start with MM. MM, really, really strong. This is like one thing that I kind of regretted from my last tier list, is that I put MM too low. It's definitely a lot better than that. And I don't know if it's like super high S, but I think it's definitely in the S tier. I think it makes its way in there, man. Definitely. Maybe a bit lower in the tier, potentially. They are a bit squish, but I mean, if you guys remember the end of Dragonflight, MM was insane. And I think, like, the top 5 was only MM. And I think in the same way, they stay insane. And, dude, Dark Ranger rework. I've not really sunk my teeth into that, but that's for the 20th anniversary, right? I've heard people like that as well. So that's cool. Okay, next up, let's do BM. Dude, BM fell off kind of hard, I feel like. Definitely MM, Survival, BM. I feel like BM is the worst Hunter spec. It's actually exactly how bad it is. A bit hard to say. It might sneak into A tier, but I think for now, put a high B. I have faced some. Good pressure. They are quite tanky as well now. If you play Den Recovery, you play the Pact Hero Talents. I think they're not horrible. Also, you know, it is pretty solid and consistent pressure with the pets and everything. But a high B for now. And then the Survival Hunter is one that I think it's good. It's good. If you you know, but you can't just rank it of Big Mex, because I've been seeing Big Mex a lot. You know, he's making moves, but he's Big Mex. Overall, generally speaking, I think we're gonna be putting it in the A tier. Somewhere in the A tier, exactly where it is. It's gonna shape out a bit as more specs come in and fill out. Then the exact position in the A tier will be more detailed. Let's do Rogue, man. Sub-Rogue. So, ever since the early beta, there has been a lot of propaganda around Sub-Rogue. At one point, I would say they actually were pretty damn bad. But they've come a long way since then. And Sub-Rogue is in a pretty good spot right now. Sub is not dead. It's not B. It's in the A tier. I'm going to put it there. I'm happy with that. But yeah, Asa Rogue is going to be going into... I think it's also good. I think Asa is really good. The pressure is unreal that Asa can do. But yeah. It's going there. It's going there. And then Outlaw Rogue. I have actually had quite a few encounters with Outlaw Rogue. And I think it has pretty good single target pressure from what I've seen. It has potential. But I do think it falls short compared to the other two Rogue specs in most regards. But it's not horrible. It's not bad. But I'm going to put it higher in the B tier for now. It might get bumped up lower A at some point. Who knows? Because as things fill out, things get bumped up and potentially bump down. Windwalker Monk. One of the highest damage dealers in the game. Windwalker is really good. It could also... I could be down for a higher A tier. I could. Maybe it gets bumped down down there at some point. But for now, in the S tier, they did lose some mobility, losing their Tiger Palm catch-up thing. But the damage is insane. They're still very, very mobile. And they're also quite tanky right now. Let's do... Dude, okay, Mischief is a tricky one to rank because you have Fist Weaving and you have Castle Weaving. They are good on Blitz. Like, if you rank solely based on Blitz, they're very, very solid. I mean, they can solo flag if you have no tank. They can also, revive... No, Restore. It's good too. Yeah, dude, I was thinking that too. I want to put it in the A tier. But overall, I think it's definitely not top 3 healers. Tank tier. I'll try to like rank the tanks like how I think they'll be in Blitz. I think to me, Unholy and Windwalker are similarly ranked here. I think either here or there. Like, I'm kind of... I feel like both of these can kind of be argued low S, high A. For now, I'm actually going to put it like this. For now, I'm going to go with this. Where it takes the low S from Windwalker and bumps it down a moment. Or a rank, rather. Alright, Frosty came out. I swear, Frost is better than it's been in a long time. On retail, Frost is definitely not like a meme spec anymore. Or in some ways still is, because it's very just kind of you do go and then you don't do much. But Frost is better than it's been in a long time. I think I'm going to put it somewhere here. A bit lower in the A tier. You can definitely make it work. And I think in certain comps like Frost, Devastation and stuff, you can definitely do a lot of damage here, guys. You can do a lot of damage. Demo is one of the specs I've seen the least of in recent times. There's not many demos out there. You barely see them. You barely see them anymore. And when you don't really see a spec, you have to guess it's for a good reason. Or assume it's for a good reason. We'll have it down there for now. Like, maybe it's worse than I think as well, but yeah. Again, one that I've not seen much of it. Or I believe it is. I think it's like low B or high C, probably. But this is the kind of spec that it is nice to hear from Warlock player because I've not really seen it much myself. So, on this one, it would be good to, you know, get some inputs. Okay, so now let's do Destro. I feel like Destro is pretty good. But I think Alfley's better as a Warlock spec right now, from what I've seen. But Destro's not bad. It can be quite a threat. I think we're going to put it in the A tier. Right there. Affliction Warlock, man. Many people do put this S tier. They do. I do see the S tier. I'd also see the high A tier. They have crazy pressure, but they are very... How do you say? It can be hard to get the pressure off. Like, most things are on the same school. I actually played Alpha quite a bit myself on the beta. A good amount. Did some shuffles. Did some arena. I've also played Alpha in previous seasons. It is really, really good. That's for sure. The question is exactly how good. Yeah, we're going to put it right there. Alpha does a lot of damage. A lot of damage. Like, overall, maybe like the biggest damage dealer if they can get it off. But yeah. Let's do Shaman. So Endance is an interesting one because they got buffed a bit. And I feel like they jumped up from a really bad place. Like a really, really bad place. In the depths. Exactly how high they jumped up is a bit hard to say. I've not seen a ton of it. Maybe when the season starts, you know, we're going to see where it truly falls. I feel like it's not amazing or anything at this point. To me, at least a solid spec. I think it's a solid spec. Like, not too strong, not too weak. Somewhere in the middle of A tier, I would say. So, kind of, that's what I'm thinking right now. This is kind of the middle of A tier. Eli, Asa. Good damage. It's just solid. It's solid. But it's not, you know, one-shot blasting people like he did in the pre-patch. Arsham. Dude, Arsham to me seems like a very, very solid healer. I think behind Preservation Evoker, I think he's a really solid healer, man. From what I've seen, I've also played into it, play with it. I feel very safe when I play with it, and it feels very hard to kill them when I play versus it. Paladin time, guys. Ret, dude, okay, I don't know if it's a meme, but when I ask people like what the worst spec is, people say Ret sometimes. People say Ret, and there is no way that is true. I think Ret is under spec as in a good spot. It's not broken, you know, we're not in the Ret-pocalypse right now. But overall, they are solid. They are solid. They offer a lot to a team. And I think they're going to be going somewhere here. Somewhere in the middle. Okay. Holy Pala. Holy Pala is one that I've not seen much of recently. I saw it quite a bit on the beta at one point. I'm not that sure about Holy Pala, to be honest. Like, where I want to place this. Dude, it is pretty interesting to see, like, how many different opinions there are, even among, like, rank 1 players, among all players. It's so, it's kind of fun to see. The game is also viewed through the spec or the class you play. You know, if you're like a Feral main, you might view the game quite differently than if you're whatever Frost Mage main or Affley main or something. To me, from what I've seen, it seems pretty good. I'm thinking like somewhere in the A, maybe high B. But again, I've not seen it in a while. So for now, I'll go kind of in between where I was thinking. So somewhere here in the A tier. Shadow Priest, man. Shadow Priest. Shadow Priest was really good at one. Like on the beta at one point, Shadow Priest was crazy. It did get toned down a little bit as time went on. Still great spec. Offers a lot to a team in general. So I'm going to be popping it somewhere in the, like, middle of A tier again. And by the way, this is where you want specs to be. You want specs to be mid A tier overall, right? It's not too strong, not too weak. It's viable, but it's not too crazy. The more things in A tier, the better. Like, you want these specs. You want BM. You want NS. You want Demo. You want Fire Mage to be middle of A tier. Disc Priest. To me, Disc seems like maybe the third best healer. At least personally, when I'm playing, I'd rather have an Arsham healing me than Disc Priest. But Disc still seems really, really good. Kind of torn like Arsham or Disc. Which one is the second best healer? But yeah, they're kind of close to each other. Somewhere towards maybe the higher end of the A tier. Again, I gotta say, Holy Priest, I'm not so sure about, guys. I'll put a high B for now. It could easily be higher. I don't have a very strong opinion on Holy Priest. Not seen it so much, and but from what I've seen, it seems pretty solid. Okay, so now let's do Evoker. By the way, where is the Preservation Evoker symbol? It's somewhere up here, guys. Yeah. Okay, Devastation Evoker. They can do a lot of damage. I think they are really good overall right now. In Blitz, in Shuffle, in 3v3, in 2v2 might be lacking a bit more. But overall, I think it's a great spec that brings a lot of pressure. Pretty good sustain. And yeah, they're also kind of quick and mobile. So we're going to be putting it somewhere here, man. I actually think they're really good, I think. You know, you can easily argue here, like, maybe this should be higher than this and stuff. But keep in mind, they're all kind of in the same ballpark. That is the main thing to focus on here. Okay, Augmentation. Dude, I've actually seen some Aug, and I swear it looks pretty good. I think Aug is solid. Like, they do a lot of damage, man. They just, like, Eruption a million. Eruption a million. They pump. By the way, yo, guys, now we're at the point where some of these are going to be making a little jump up here. One of these will make a jump up here. Aug is going to go somewhere here. I wish I saw more of it. I wish I could be certain that it's like... There's a part of me that thinks that is low-key, like, just insane. And I was going to see more. But for now, we're going to be popping it somewhere here. Fury Warrior. Insane. Insane spec. 100% insane spec. So good.
My favorite friendly...
I don't know if it's the best spec in the game, or it's I'll say it's high S tier, and it's going up there. It's going up there. Demolish Arms Warrior kind of cranks. I've not seen it much recently because everyone's playing Fury Warrior. But I think it's really good. I think it's one of those specs. I'm just gonna put it solid, good, nothing too crazy. But maybe if less people play Fury, would see Arms and it might actually be ranked. Havoc was like kind of rough for a while on the beta, but it seems like they kind of found their place a bit now. Found a good place now. I think it's one more of those good A-tier specs that is in a good spot. Not too strong, not too weak. I think overall it's solid. So we're going to be putting it there. Guys, okay, so yeah, I want to say this. Preservation Evoker is not here. They didn't put it on the list, but it's in the S tier. It's the best healer. It's somewhere here in the S tier. High S tier, probably. Okay, Vengeance, I think for tanks is like one of the best things, right? So yeah, I think Preservation Evoker S+. It's super, super good. Time for Druid. Boomy is one that's tough to rate because you don't see him much at all. That doesn't necessarily mean they're horrible, but I mean, it has to mean something. So it seems like all the Boomies went feral or something. I don't even know what's happening. I'll put it in the B tier. And again, this might be spec. Overall, that should be higher. High B, low A. So I'm thinking I've just not seen enough of it to really convince me that it doesn't need a little something right now to help it get into the mid A tier. So for now, I'll put a lower B. I mean, higher B, but it could easily be A tier. I'm sure. But I want to see more of it before I put up there. Alright, guys, here we go. Guardian Druid. I think it's very good for blitzing. You guys, now for Feral Druid. Now for Feral Druid, huh? Where do we put Feral on this list? Hard to say. Well, guys, what are we saying, guys? B tier, F tier, F tier, F tier. I think it's right. Yeah, Feral's not very good right now. After the bite to nerf, man, we're just so bad. Like, we did no damn anymore. Feral, to me, is in the S tier still. After the change to bite and our build change, we did, I think, fall off a little bit, but we're still really, really strong. I think we will see, though, when the season starts. It might struggle a little bit compared to what people think. But Feral is very good. And it is making its way into the S tier. It is. And guys, that is the tier list. Official War Within Season 1 PvP tier list.